And we're back for yet another quick little video, this one featuring the hotfix/bugfix patch for 8.4.1, featuring a couple of different minor changes to some killers that were changed in the recent balance patch, but some notable things will be a couple of HoundMaster buffs as well as some weird changes to Chucky. There isn't a whole lot to talk about in this patch, but it felt like the changes were impactful enough to make an entire video about, so let's get into it. Alright, starting off with a couple of nice buffs to the HoundMaster, going directly to their base kit. Starting off with the chase command is going to have its cooldown reduced from 5 seconds to 4 seconds. This is a nice little buff, given that it's pretty punishing if you miss the chase attack, especially with how easy it is to miss. After that, completed generators will now appear as a light orange to the HoundMaster after charging her search command, which used to just show them all the time. After that, the Hound Sense radius is only going to be visible to a survivor when the dog is within 20 meters of them. This is mainly so that survivors won't be able to get a much further indication that the dog is approaching them, even if it is at a very high speed, and it'll give them less time to get away, since the radius was very highlighted from any distance, so you could spot it pretty easily. And finally, survivors afflicted with the Hound Sense appear with reduced color and opacity outlined to the HoundMaster. This was something that they originally added to the Hound Sense effect to make it so survivors are easier to spot, but it appeared that it was much too bright and was too similar to the Killer Instinct effect. Coming up after that, we have a small Demogorgon buff where they are increasing the upside-down traversal speed from 28 meters a second to 32 meters a second, which is a even further increase from the buff that we received in 8.4.0, where it was increased from 20 meters a second to 28 meters a second, and now we are at 32. Alright, next up we have some very interesting changes coming to Chucky's Hidey-Ho and Slice and Dice abilities. They're starting off by increasing the Hidey-Ho's cooldown by yet another 2 seconds from the patch notes just before this. They are increasing the Slice and Dice duration from 1.2 to 1.8 seconds. However, they are decreasing the Slice and Dice movement speed from 10 meters a second to 8 meters a second, which is a fat 20% decrease in the speed of Slice and Dice. Now this one's a little bit more questionable to me because it does significantly decrease the power of Chucky's Slice and Dice. This is a lot of value gone with how quickly you can round corners or just generally catch up to survivors based on your ability. Now I understand the trade-off here is generally just the speed. The distance is relatively the same. In fact, actually, if you do the math, you get about 10% more distance than you did before, but the main issue change is the speed. Having this big speed decrease makes a lot more situations harder to deal with when it comes to doing more advanced movements with his ability. To finish things off with the balance changes towards the killer's kits, we're heading over to Michael Myers, also known as the Shape. They are increasing the Evil Within gain multiplier when stalking from up close from 0.4 to 0.6, thus making the new minimum gain multiplier 6 times what it used to be before the previous patch. So Michael Myers is now no longer punished nearly as hard from being at nearly any distance to the stalk. Alright, moving on, we have some perk changes coming to some certain killer perks. Starting off with Human Greed, they are increasing the duration that you can reveal survivors' auras when they enter 8 meter range near chest from just 3 seconds to 3, 4, and a maximum of 5 seconds. They are also reducing the cooldown on the ability to kick chest close from 30, 25, and 20 seconds to just a minimum of 10 seconds at all levels. After that, we have a slight change to Weave Attunement again after the nerfs from the last patch. They are increasing the distance that survivors' auras are revealed when they are near dropped items from 8 meters back up to 12 meters, which is what it was beforehand. They figured that this is probably a better idea since the survivors are now allowed to see the affected item when they are within the range. Also, I'm noticing this after finishing the rest of the video, it's one final little note that's important to say. In the bug fixes for the HoundMaster, they have fixed an issue that caused the trail boost effect to have no effect while starting a chase while on the search path. Meaning that if you were to start a chase while in the middle of the search path that was created by the dog, you would immediately lose the speed effect. This is now fixed, meaning that even during a chase or at the beginning of chase, you can still gain the speed boost. This is important to note because now you can use the dog's search in a loop instead of using the chase to make it so your movement speed is significantly faster and make it much easier to catch up to survivors at just general distance or loops. Keep this in mind. Alright, that's going to conclude this very short little video on the 8.4.1 little hotfix that just happened yesterday. I hope you guys enjoyed this small little informative thing. I'm going to try to keep up with anything more frequently from now on, and I'm also only going to do little videos like this, or major ones, of patch notes that I find significant enough to make a video. Even if it's a major change that happens, I'm not going to make a video about it unless I consider it large enough to make a full video for. So, like I said before, I hope you guys enjoyed this, and I will say the usual nonsense of just sub if you enjoyed this, because I'm going to be doing more of this in the future, as well as more regular videos, because I know it's been a while. And do comment what you think about it, honestly, because I really enjoy the interaction and what people think about the certain changes, or just what you think about the video in general. So yeah, with all that being said, I'll see you guys in the next one.